Are you writing your personal statement to apply to university? Are you really struggling to avoid cliches in your personal statement? Well, that's okay, because I'm here to help today. My name is Lucy Parsons. I blog at lifemoreextraordinary.com, helping you to get the top grades and into your first choice of university. So the inspiration for today's post has come from a couple of people who are readers of my blog who've written in with different problems about being tempted to use cliches in their personal statements and not really knowing how to avoid it. So the first one is Frankie, and she said, I'm really struggling to start my personal statement for BSc Geography. I don't know what to say and whether it should be a cliche definition about what geography is. Any tips? Okay, so one of the big temptations at the beginning of a personal statement is to start with a definition or a quote about the subject that you want to study. Now, I would strongly advise against doing either of these things. You shouldn't define the subject that you want to study, because the admissions tutor who's reading your personal statement already knows what that subject's all about. After all, they've spent years and years and years learning about it, and you know, they're far more of an expert on it than you are. So don't try and teach your grandmother to suck eggs. Instead, you need to show them why you're passionate about that subject and why you're interested in it. Okay, so no cliche definitions, and quotes are also really tempting to use because somebody else said it in a much more pithy and a succinct way than you did. But again, a personal statement's very short and you haven't got space to waste using other people's words. It's all about communicating your personal story of why you want to study your particular subject. Now, another reader who wrote in was Katie, and she said, there are some things I do not know how to express in my personal statement so that it doesn't sound like a cliche. My mother is a doctor and she's doing some really interesting research. My parents' work has brought up many interesting conversations that have both educated me and have additionally fed my passion for science. For this reason, I would love to include it in my personal statement and at the same time make it not sound like the cliched sentence, my parents are doctors and I really like their job, therefore I want to be a doctor scientist as well. Now, this is a real problem for people like Katie who have people in their family, like their parents, who do the job that you want to do. So they might be lawyers, they might be doctors, they might be vets, they might be dentists, and you've seen their work, and because you've seen it at such close quarters and you understand their work, you really want to do it too. Okay, the thing here though is not to use that cliche of my parents do this, that's why I want to do this. You've got to really dig deep into what you've seen that has really motivated you and interested you to do that particular subject. Now, I think what will really help you to dig deeper into this is checking out my other YouTube video on how to make yourself really attractive to Oxbridge. And what I actually say in that video, and it's just as applicable whether you're applying to Oxbridge or not, is that you need to tell your story in your personal statement, and you really need to dive deep in terms of your story to understand your motivations, your moments of inspiration, the things that you found really interesting when you've been learning more about the subject you want to study at university, and use that to communicate to the admissions tutor. So I really hope that's helped you to avoid using cliches in your personal statement. I'd love to help you some more. I've got a free download that's called 11 Personal Statement Do's and Don'ts, which I'll link up to below this video. And I've also got a e-course that takes you from blank piece of paper to done with your personal statement. And I really would love you to check that out. It really is very, very helpful, particularly for helping you to understand what your particular story is and how you want to tell it through your personal statement, and communicate your individuality and your passion really, really well to the admissions tutors. So I'll put the link to that below this video as well. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this and would like to see more from me, I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also come over to my website, lifemoreextraordinary.com, and sign up for email updates where I share things that I only share by email. Okay, thank you so much for watching and best of luck applying to university.